All right, we're sitting down with head coach Jim Dapkus of the Lincoln baseball team. And coach, over the past couple games, your team's really started to hit the ball pretty well, especially Cody Huff, who came out of nowhere it seems, and has had 4 hits yesterday and 6 hits, against Western. So, where have you been hiding him all this time?
Well, Cody has been our backup catcher, and we were really, after the first day at Missouri Western, where they kind of handled it to us the first couple of games, we just kind of did some reevaluation of where people were and if there was any kind of maybe a fix or whatever. And Cody's turned out to be a very pleasant surprise. He has not taken many ground balls at third base, but he's done an excellent job for us, and he's gotten a quality bat every time, and has helped. Has been part of the reason why the offense is coming back to life a little bit. Still got a little ways to go, but we are at least becoming a little bit more of an offensive threat now than we were earlier on the season.
Well, like you said, on the first day against Missouri Western, they kind of handed it to you. But in the second day, you lost the one game by 1 run, and then you came back to win the second game. Other than making the lineup tweaks, what changed between those 2 days?
We really, John went out there, John Bidges went out there and just threw a great game for us, kept us in the game. And then Wiggins got his first start and really did a good job of keeping us in the game. It all kind of goes back to how your pitcher handles the situation, and we got on a nice little roll there with the last 2 games against Missouri Western and our first game yesterday against Truman, where we got 3 quality starts, and it allowed us to win a couple of those games, be in the games, and all that. And it all starts with the pitching, and we've got to find a way of consistently getting somebody out there that can keep us in the game, and hopefully the bats keep coming to life a little bit, because we have a brutal second half of the year in terms of the quality of teams we're playing, and we've got to be ready to go.
Well, yesterday in the first game, Blake Jones came in and he gave you a pretty solid effort. Talk about his pitching yesterday.
We started him against Missouri Western, and we actually took him out halfway through the game because we wanted to make sure that he could throw Tuesday. He actually went out there. We didn't know how many innings he was going to give us, but he gave us a great game. And he's battling a blister on his finger that actually opened up during the game, and that's kind of why he kind of started losing it there a little bit towards the end. But just went out there and just did a great job of throwing strikes, keeping them off balance, and got out of what he's been doing all year. He's been getting out of, he gets in some jams, but he's able to pitch out of them a little bit.
Well, because of the way the scheduling worked, you ended up having to play 6 games in 4 days, and part of that was the weather. But when you have a schedule like that where you have to conserve your pitching for for all 6 games, what kind of things do you do with your pitchers to keep them loose? And
there's really no secret to it, because everybody in the conference has to deal with it. But it's more or less a situation of trying to make sure we keep pitch counts down. And even like we did at Missouri Western the first day, we ended up throwing some guys that hadn't thrown for us this year because the game was a little bit out of reach, we thought, offensively. We gave some guys some opportunities and maybe found out we got to work with them a little bit more. But it's all about trying to save arms and keep guys healthy. And obviously Chris, for those 6 games, we really threw Chris maybe a couple innings. Chris just is not at 100%. We wanted to make sure that he got maybe a little bit of a rest here, because we as a team get a little bit of a break here. Now we don't play for about 9-10 days, so we're going to give the kids a couple of days off, hopefully rest up some bodies, get ready for next weekend when Warrensburg comes in town. We've got to be ready to play that weekend.
Well, like you mentioned, you're going to have a pretty big test, in 2 weeks when Central Missouri comes in. What are you going to be doing besides getting players rest over the next 2 weeks?
Just try to get guys focused on the fact that if we can control our own actions, we will be in the game. If we can pitch and throw strikes, limit their walks, we got to limit the errors. We got to realize most likely they're going to get their fair share of hits. We just got to minimize the damage. And for us offensively, we just got to keep maximizing on the hits that we get and try to score as many runs as possible, and hopefully find ourselves in games late at the late parts of the games, and hopefully find ways to win some games. But not just with Central. As I'm glancing here at our schedule, we got a Washburn team that's playing good. We got Emporia. We got Missouri Southern. We still have to go back up to Truman. The month of April is going to be a big test for us, and we've got to be ready to play every time. So it's nice that we're getting a little bit of a break, because like I said, we've got a couple of pitchers that are banged up a little bit, that if they had to throw this weekend, it'd be kind of tough for them. So hopefully this break's coming at the right time, get everybody healthy, get them ready for the second half of the year.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Okay.